Meat cooking. You have a analog digital thermometer to stick into the thickest part of the meat. It'll tell you the internal cook temperature. Or if you want it more precise, this is a battery operated digital thermometer. It'll take you to 0.01 degree of the internal cooking temperature. Now the last thing I want to talk about is the worst tool ever invented for the kitchen. A meat fork. If you got a meat fork in your kitchen drawer, throw it out in next week's trash. There's not a single use for this thing in the kitchen. No meat should ever be punctured more than it needs to be. In fact, most should never be. You don't use this for flipping things. You don't use this to pick up and move on your barbecue. It's the worst thing you can do. So unless you plan on murdering somebody, get rid of this thing. Worst tool ever invented. I'm telling you right now. All right, got that off my chest. I want to show you a unique little tool. It's not expensive, but it can save your day a lot. And this is just called a mandolin. A professional mandolin goes for 300 bucks. It's 100% stainless steel. This is $20 off Amazon. What does this do for you? Instead of using a knife, I'm going to use this to slice potatoes for scalloped potatoes. I'm going to take it. It rests perfectly on my pot right there. Look at that. It's nice and safe and sturdy. I'm going to take my potato and I'm going to just go back and forth on the blade. And when the blade gets too close to my fingers, I'm going to put the stopper on it and go, 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 go. And it goes right down to the bottom. And I now have perfectly sliced potatoes for my scalloped, my au gratin, etc., etc. Knife sharpening. I have here a Japanese water stone. I highly recommend to most of you at home that if you're not familiar with stones, that you get your knives professionally sharpened once a year, once every 6 months if you use them a lot. Now what I'm going to start talking to you about right now is the difference between a stone and a steel. If we look here on the chart, a stone sharpens your knife and a steel keeps your knife sharp. Once you've used your knife and it no longer has an edge on it, no matter how many times, and I'm doing this backwards on purpose, no matter how many times you do this on the steel, it's not going to get sharp. You need to go and take it to a stone or a professional knife sharpener. Now, if you want to brave the chance and try and use a stone, this is what you need to know. The angle of the blade has to be 100% consistent on every stroke on your stone. If you stroke at a high angle like this, if you look at the blade, and I'm talking about looking at it right like this, you're going to get an edge that comes down, goes in, and then you get a nice little sharp edge at the bottom. If you lower the angle on your stone, and this is the professional way, you'll see that the blade, when looked at like this, has a continuous, even, smooth surface that will stay longer, sharp, way longer than this. If you need a quick fix, this is great. If you want to sharpen your knife and keep it sharp, you need this. So if you're going to use a stone, and this is a Japanese whetstone, any stone you buy, you can either make it an oil stone or a water stone. But once you've started with one, you can't go back. Japanese always use water. This is 1,000 grit. You would need a relatively sharp knife to begin with to even start on this stone. It comes with a water bath. And what you would do then is you would scoop up a little water and you put it on the stone. What the water does when it's on the stone is, as you're going through with your knife, all the little minute particles that are coming off the blade, it rinses them off the stone into the bath down below. And the oil does the same thing if this was an oil stone. So the thing you need to remember when you're using a stone of any sort is whichever angle you're using, it has to be consistent and it has to be from one end to the other end. So I'm going to put some more water on there. I'm going to take my knife, I'm going to start like this, and I'm not going to finish until I'm right at the heel of my knife. I'm going to do 2 strokes on this side, I'm going to do 2 strokes on this side, I'm going to do 2 strokes on this side, and repeat, 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 repeat. You've probably got about 15-20 minutes, if not a half hour work to use this. So that's why I highly recommend, if you're not efficient on a stone, if your angle is constantly changing with every stroke, you're not going to end up with a decent edge on your knife. Pay somebody to do it. Much better. Another alternative is a countertop blade puller. I don't use this. I use it on one of my older knives here, not on my good knife. You can get a good one. Don't spend less than $30. This gives you this edge. It doesn't give you this edge. And you just simply run your knife through the same amount of times on both sides, and you're going to get a what we call quick edge. It's going to be good for the next half hour, hour, day or two, but it's going to get dull very, very quickly. Now, using a steel keeps a knife sharp, does not sharpen. When you see professional chefs working, their tools are sitting there, and almost every single time they pick up a knife, doesn't matter whether it's a boning knife, a slicing knife, or a French knife, a half a dozen strokes on the steel each time, that will keep your knife sharp. So if you put the steel in the bottom of your drawer and you never use it, then your knife is just getting duller and duller and duller and duller every single time you use it. Now here's a good little tip. You need a good fair length steel. Anything that's 6-8 inches long, 20 centimeters long, it's extremely difficult to get a whole blade of a knife down the surface. Go and get yourself a $20 steel. That's all this is worth. It's a Henkel, it's a $20 steel. And some people are afraid that when they come down, they're going to end up catching their thumb. Trick of the day. A hockey puck. We're in Canada, eh? Drill a hole. Put it on your steel. Will not hurt your knife. You can hit that thing as many times as you want. It's not going to hurt your knife. I'm going to miss it all the time because I know what I'm doing. You're going to be going whoop and whoop. But the more you practice, the more you'll do this. And just another little funny antidote. If you're ever out at a buffet and there's a chef carving a roast beef, a leg of lamb, a ham, whatever it may be, if there's, and I'm going to do this backwards on purpose, if they're ever doing this, stroking the knife 100 times, it's hilarious because they are not doing a single thing to their knife. Not doing a single thing. Right way. 6 strokes on each side. It's all you need every time. Done. Knife has got a nice little edge on it. It's more like this because I keep it sharp. It's going to cut through anything that I need to or want it to. Well, I hope you've enjoyed this little episode on tools. Just remember what I said earlier about the quality. A mechanic does not buy his wrenches at Walmart. He gets them from a industrial supply store. You don't need to buy every kitchen tool at an industrial store, but the ones that you should are a pair of tongs, if not 2 different lengths. Have at least one good hard steel knife, that being 100% hardened stainless steel. And I do recommend a smaller $30, $45, $50 French knife that is made with a medium hardness on the steel. You can take a stone and get either edge on it yourself in half the time because the steel is not as hard as the very high quality knives. If you have any questions about any other tools, hit down below in the comment section and I'll get back to you as soon as I can. In the meantime, please subscribe, please hit the notification button, like this, and share it with your friends. Thanks for watching Chef Glen's Kitchen. Until next time, happy cooking.